Well, hello, everybody. It's Dr. Hank, and welcome to Agent Wealth Success. And you know what we do here? We help you to increase your business and your wealth. And every week we just have amazing people on. We've had the top broker in America on, top agents in America they've helped us to really grow our business. But, when you grow your business, you sometimes come into a challenge on, hey, I grew my business, but I don't have enough time now. I don't have any balance. My kids, when I walk in, ask me, hey, who's that stranger walking through the door? The wife screams, scared on who this guy is. And so what I wanted to do is bring you really regarded the highest rated company actually in real estate, a man and the owner of this company that Daniel Ramsey. And what he does is he is going to teach us today how to scale our business and give us that more time and be able to even build our business bigger than it is. So with that, Daniel Ramsey, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Dr. Hank. I'm really excited to be here. And you're absolutely right, man. As real estate brokers, agents, our hair's on fire. Calls, emails, get a deal done. Like, it's just, if you're good, you're busy.
Right, exactly. That's it. In fact, I was just talking to a broker the other day who actually cried 3 times because when I was sharing some ways to be more efficient, and she goes, oh my God, and like the first time she started to cry, I said, this is good stuff, but it's not that good. And she basically said, well, what it is my father owned this brokerage and now I do, but it killed my father and it's killing me. And so, because it's 7 o'clock in the morning, getting calls, 11 o'clock at night, et cetera. But, I also love just that for you, Daniel, that, you've worked with the top brokers in America and even Zillow and KW and Tom Ferry, he recommends you. I mean, you are the man in order to be able to scale your business. In fact, you're even a best-selling author. And so congratulations. We'll talk a little bit later on that. But, I'd like to ask you that, basically we all start out as technically an independent contractor and as real estate agents and even brokers. And so we want to be a CEO of our business. And so how can we drive revenue, save time, create our dream business, if you will? And so can you tell us a little about your real estate business growth models that you have and how that can help us do all those things?
Sure can. And I love the way you're framing this question, because guys, if you're listening, real estate really is about following a model. And one of the cool things about MyOutDesk is that we've been in business 12 years and we've had over 5,000 clients that we've helped them scale their business. So what's cool about that is you start to see patterns, right? And as a broker, business guy, I did it a particular way. Like I'm a real estate broker, a mortgage broker, developer, contractor. Like I'm the typical guy. I did it all, right? And ADD is strong with me, right? I grew a bunch of these businesses, but I did it my way. And if you're listening, one of the cool things is that you can actually follow a system and a model. So we've created something that we call the 7-figure business roadmap, which helps brokers and agents really understand what's important right now in this particular moment in your business. And so one of the first things that we do is we've broken that into 3 different categories. We have the I do it's, Dr. Hank, you know those guys? Yeah. The I do it's, I do everything. You wear all the hats, you do all the work, and that's the fun phase. By the way, that's one of my favorite phases because it's the most lucrative.
Right.
You control everything, and they're your clients, and you serve them exactly how you want them done, right?
You bet. Good for the self-esteem too, right?
Oh my goodness, I love that. So the I do it, okay. And if you're listening, in the I do it, what's important is you're learning and growing, okay. But then we move to the we do it, okay. And it's a very simple model: I, we, they. And in each of those stages, there are different kind of things that you have to focus on. And in the we phase, that's where MyOutDesk comes in. We help brokers and agents build teams. We help you figure out, what are the things that are most important on my plate? What are the things that I have to do, as the business owner? It's important for me. And then what are the things that I can have somebody help me with? Have somebody do it just like I would. Yes. And so in that process, in the we do it stage, and that, it's wild, is 82% of all realtors are in the I do it's. 82%.
Wow.
So the vast majority of us out there are in the I do it's, meaning no assistants, no employees, just solopreneurs wearing all the hats,
Right.
It's all the fun. But when you move over to the we do it's, you have about 15% of the market.
Okay.
So that's a big, and in that area, okay, you got 15% of the market. What matters is systems and process. So we got to spend a lot of time on that, Dr. Hank. What are you thinking?
Yeah, well, you bet. Can you just on the day do it? Can you just end on that, and then we'll get into that specific? But can you tell me who's they do it? Like what is that, or percent, or yeah?
Right. Yeah, it's good. It's about 3% of the market, and these are the guys in the Real Trends top 1,000. They're the brokers out there that have 50 to 200 agents working for them. They're the they make the majority of. They do the majority of the 5 million transactions that we have nationwide. And so in the they do it, since you asked, we're going to just break it down.
Okay.
The they do it, what's important is people and having a really strong vision. A really super strong vision. And so if you're listening right now, this is obviously a video, and we're talking about virtual assistants and really how to scale businesses. Right. But the reality is you have to know where you are first and know what the most important things are to focus on, so that you can actually decide who you need to hire. And so that's why all of these things, the first step is just, where are you?
Yeah. And I love that, Daniel, because it's just like with social media, that you can't just go out to social media, that we were learning in the last couple of months or so, our audience and, all of us, that you have to understand your target audience. For you, you're saying, hey, for you to be able to go and really scale your business, you have to first understand who you are. And I think we probably have, just because of the numbers on this 82%, I think we have a lot of I do it.
Yes.
And so I think on the they do it, I think it's just key for them to understand, hey, it's your people and your vision, and both of us can help with that as well. I think where we should go is to look at then, if let's assume for the most part that most of us are I do it. Yep. And then help me to understand how you can help us to become we do it.
I love it. Well, in that stage, you're really learning and growing, right?
Right.
Because you're probably, we've all been in an office meeting where, and I have been, where let's say there's 30 or 40 of us together, and the broker comes out and says, okay, we're going to give the award for last quarter, and this guy gets up on stage and he's a complete jerk. He doesn't serve his clients well, but he's the #1 producing person in the entire office, right? Well, and everybody's like, God, I'm way better I love my clients. I take care of my people. How come that guy's the one that's winning? Well, in the world of real estate, the most important thing is getting listings, right? Mm-hmm. And when you're in the I do it, you got to be laser focused on learning how to build your client database and your listing inventory. Like, that is it. Like, everybody else in the world talks about, oh, you got to hire, your first hire should be a CRM, and then you should be hiring a virtual assistant to help you get listings, stay out of the weeds, not do all of the paperwork and all of the minutia, and stay hyper focused on finding listings and loving on your clients. That is it, man. So if you're in the I do it space, that's your focus.
That's great. That's awesome. And then I'm just taking notes here, and I recommend that all of you take notes here too, because so now I think where we are is that most of us have a CRM, and so we recognize that, hey, I'm sticking my toe in the we do it, right?
Yeah,
You know, and I've done that, and I see, wow, that really helps me because I can get out to more people, and I can, you know, connect with more people and keep that communication up without me having to personally, you know, do everything. And so now I want to become more of a we do it. And the second thing you said is virtual assistant. So let's talk. I think there's a lot of misunderstandings about virtual assistants, and I think some of the people that are, you know, they're not quite ready to make that plunge yet because they think it's a lot of money, and you know, and then they think they don't have enough money, which, by the way, everybody, that leads you to not having enough money if you think you do. So so can you help us with then virtual assistant, and like, you know, from the get-go, let's talk first about, you know, like really how much is it, or, you know, what are we talking about there, and then what they can do, so we understand, you know, we can really understand how I can be more of a we do it. And then, you know, how do I get them, you know, what's the best one, how do I keep them motivated, etc. So can you kind of take us through? I think that's probably where you really, your sweet spot. Is that accurate?
Yeah. You got 3 questions, man. I'm gonna try to keep them all in my head here. Okay, but first, you know, the first question that you had, which is how much does it cost? That's a beautiful question, but I want to reframe it, because it really, if you're listening to this, I said in the I do it space, you've got to focus on your clients, like loving on them big time, right? And then getting listings, right? Those are the 2 things that you do, because you don't want to be the guy at your office where the guy that nobody likes is up on stage and you're not, right? So that's his focus, and there's a reason, because that's the only thing that matters. So the question is, how can I get a 3 or 4x return on what I spend when I hire an employee, whether it's virtual, a virtual assistant or anything else? And one of my favorite quotes, we actually added up all the money that we saved clients and helped them earn in gross commission income last year. It's insane, Dr. Hank. Okay, like I get excited about this because our clients report to us, on average, we save them about 60% of the cost in just pure dollars when you hire a virtual assistant. So it's about 60% savings. And I'm not even adding in office space. I'm not added in, like, you know, a computer and phone systems and all the traditional expenses, you know, that you have.
Right.
So, you know, what we found last year is that our clients told us that we saved them $55 million compared to, last year, right?
Yeah.
So compared to the traditional hiring costs that would be associated. And those are just dollar per dollar savings. So the question is, if you're doing $10 or $15 an hour work, like transaction coordination or listing coordination, or I don't know, printing out flyers, organizing events, you know, anything that isn't client facing, what you're saying is that's what your hourly rate is worth. That's what you're worth. You know?
Right.
And this is bad, man.
So in other words, what we're doing is we're doing what I call low payoff activities. That basically we're investing our time in $10, $15 per hour, kind of manual labor, if you will, when really we need to be focused on our high payoff activities. And so if I am doing the math right, if they save $5 billion and you have 5,000 clients, so it saves about $1,000 a client, right?
Well, we've served over the last 12 years, we've served over 5,000 clients. And we've saved them just last year. When you take all of our clients together, they reported to us that we've saved them over $55 million. When you compare traditional employee cost, right?
Got it.
And so what our clients report to us really are 2 things that we help people do. One, help them find listings. So We have this great blog post that we just put up, I think, last Friday, right before Easter. And it was just some recordings of for sale by owners and expired calls, buyer calls, and then listing calls. It was really awesome. It was the first time that we'd ever in mass asked our people to send us a bunch of calls. And it was eye-opening. It was eye-opening because they were so masterful on asking the question. So one of them, I love this one call that we had that I listened to personally. And she said, well, I'm calling because last year you weren't able to sell your home. And I was just wondering if the real estate broker that listed your house told you why it didn't sell.
Yeah.
And the guy on the other line was like, I never understood why I didn't. No, I don't know why. And he just did this perfect. I'd love to schedule some time for my broker, Tom. His name was Tom Blank. Tom, to come out and explain to you why your home didn't sell. By the way, and are mornings better or evenings better? Like which one would be And so we have this great blog post of our virtual assistants just simply calling people, nurturing them, loving on them, and making sure that they have all their questions, answered. If somebody registers on your website, how long does it take you to call them? And is that the highest and best use of your time to call a lead, within 30 seconds of them registering? So that's one area that we really serve our clients at a high level. Yes. And then the other is all of the paperwork. It's like a Bible thick of paperwork every time you buy and sell a house. So
sure.
Somebody's got to be laser focused on that.
Yeah. So what is the return on investment then? We heard on the cost savings that what typically happens to a business when we're now talking about virtual assistants are going to reduce your time on low payoff activities. That way you can increase your time on high payoff activities. What's my return then typically on that?
Well, I was just on a call. One of my favorite brokers in Minnesota. He's the largest independent broker in Minnesota, and his name's Long. Everybody knows Long. He's a great guy. And I asked him that question because I often get the opportunity to interview our clients and hear about the cool stuff that they're doing. Yeah. And Long, his role as a broker is to recruit agents and retain agents. So he's using our virtual assistants in the other side of the business, which is the transaction coordination and listing coordination and kind of the marketing coordinator for his office. So he has 3 of our virtual assistants serving his agents. And you know what he said? He goes, look, my agents don't leave me. Yeah. And I said, okay, well, what does that cost you? He goes, well, look, we've got over 400 agents, and they come and they have a home, and your virtual assistants, Daniel, are there to serve my agents, and so my retention is so strong. I'm not even sure how to calculate return on investment for that one, because it's the most important thing for us to do as a company is to retain the agents.
That's fantastic. And then for an agent, so that's a broker and how to be able to recruit and then retain. And then what do I do for other people then that for regular agents, that if I just decide, hey, I want to get more into We Do It and I want to use a virtual assistant, that what can you give me some indication on what the return? I mean, can my business double, do you think, or what do you think?
Yeah, we love having that question. When somebody calls us, our whole world is, how do we double? Because in the real estate world, whether you're in the I, we, or they, a double is absolutely possible. Now, it might be a little bit hard when you're in the they do it, doing millions of dollars in commission income. It's hard to get a double, and maybe it'll take 2 or 3 years. Yeah. But when you're in the I do it or the we do it, a double is it's so there, it's absolutely we're serving a client out of Casper, Wyoming, and to go to your return, what's the return on investment? I wanted to know, and her virtual assistant, his name is Rex, and I got the pleasure of just chatting with him real quick, and I said, Rex, you literally have been with your client, because we use a CRM that's 300. It gives you the days how old an account is. So his client was 366 days. So exactly 1 year and 1 day.
Wow.
And I said, Rex, what's it been like serving this client? And he goes, boss, it's been amazing. I'm responsible. I was the first point of contact for 142 transactions.
Wow.
So the leads came in. He was the first person to respond. He'd convert them or nurture them, and then he'd pass them off to the licensed agent when it was ready. So out of the 600 transactions that they did, he literally touched 142 of them that closed. These aren't like warm appointments. These are actual closings. So, the return on investment in that particular is in the thousands. But what we like to do, Dr. Hank, just to be clear, is we like to sit down with you, understand, what's your vision for the future? Who's on your team now? What are the IT systems? What's your database? How are you generating leads now? And then we look for opportunities. We look for opportunities in what you're currently doing. What can we eliminate from your plate and help you grow your business? And what can we help you focus on so that you can double?
That's fantastic. So basically what we're hearing here is that it's a way to double your business. It's a way to increase the amount of time you invest in your high payoff activities, which also means you'll be given more time. And you basically shared with us on how to get started, and basically we give you a call. So how would we do that? How do we contact MyOutDesk, which is your company, the highest rated company in real estate, and so how do we go about doing that? And what are the steps, and how does that work, and what's the investment, or whatever else you want to share with us there?
Yeah, no, it's good. I definitely think if you're thinking about hiring a virtual assistant, our consultations are 100% free. Like, we don't charge for them, and they're massive value. But if you're listening, I want to help your audience who may be like, I don't know, Daniel, if I want to commit to doing that. So I want to help the people that are on this call right now.
Great.
And so this is what I'd like you to do. If you're here right now, just get out a piece of paper and write down, what was your last year's actual income? And you can go to Schedule E, or you can get your W-9, or you can get whatever you got and look at your actual income, and then divide by the amount of hours you worked in a year. Now you know what your hourly rate is.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we put that number at the top. You're laughing and smiling. You know exactly where we're going. You know exactly where we're going. Okay, then what I want you to do is just think about what your day looks like. What are the things that I'm normally doing? How much time do I spend on Facebook? How much time do I spend, chit-chatting with the guy at the copy machine, getting water, whatever it is. And then what I'd like you to do is, how much time of my day do I spend talking to clients? Literally talking to clients. And then you just write all those things down. Just write them all down. And it's a fun little exercise. If you wanted to do it with stickies, I love stickies. We call it the sticky challenge, where you just follow yourself around with stickies for a couple days and really get an idea of what you do.
Yeah.
Now we've gotten to the first step of creating what we would call an outcome statement. Dr. Hank, we do not do job descriptions. We do not do roles or responsibilities. We do something called an outcome statement. And we either focus on changing your life by helping you save some time, save some money, or grow your business.
Cool. That is awesome. Yeah, I love that. And then grow your business. Yep, got it. Okay, so with that, is that what you call compound leverage?
That's right. Yeah. You got it. Well, here, think about this. Okay, so everybody's on the call thinking, I don't know about a virtual assistant. I don't know about hiring people. There's a lot of risk. What if I don't like the guy? What if they, one of our, what's interesting is one of the questions, where are your people? Well, so we've had 4,000 in the 12 years, 4,000 virtual assistants from the Philippines. The Philippines is the market that we're in.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, their accents are amazing,
Uh,
college educated, they're highly motivated. Like so I've got some water here so I can communicate well for everybody that's on this. This water was $2. This water is $2 in the US.
Yeah.
That same bottle of water in the Philippines costs you about 25 to 40 cents.
Yeah.
So what's happening here is we're taking advantage of the difference in, it's a currency arbitrage play. And if and Google that word if you don't, it's in my business, so I know it, but I don't even like using big words like that because it's crazy. But here's the point: everything there is about a quarter of the cost of here. So and their unemployment rate is crazy. They have a huge homeless population. So when you as a business person says, I have opportunity, what we do is we go to the Philippines and we find people who want opportunity.
Yeah. Awesome.
And then we put them together. And then we focus on that outcome statement where we know, hey, this is the outcome that we're going to double the revenue. And these are the activities that we need to give away for the business owner to go and focus on really growing his business. So compound leverage, which was the original question, I had to do a little build up to it. So I had to do a little build. Here's what compound leverage is my favorite thing. Albert Einstein said it's the 8th wonder of the world, compound interest. Compound leverage is once you build a system and a process. So a system is any IT thing, a system can be as simple as a check sheet, right? Or it could be a IT platform like a CRM or something. But once you build a system and then you put a process together for somebody, and then you give that task away, you get the time back that you were spending on that task for the rest of your career.
Yes.
So now here's the hard part. But you have to go and focus on revenue generating activity, high impact stuff.
You bet, yeah. And in fact, I've done some surveys on that, and high payoff activities is what I call that. And that, it basically is you're trading at the $10 to $15 per hour to around $2,500 per hour. So, what do you want to do? And which activity would you like to have? And so it boils down to, hey, I want that high payoff activity in order to be able to provide that. And so, so that's how you leverage it, and just looking at dollars and then hours on amount of time that you do. So how do I go about managing and motivating VAs then? How does all that work? I understand, and we do this outcome statement. We identify the best person that will probably be a good match. And then what else do I need to do, or how is that all done with the virtual assistant to really get them to be a productive employee or teammate of mine?
You just nailed it.
Yeah.
So this is why in the they do it, people are the key, right? So we're in the we do it space. You're in, let's say you're an I do it and you're like, you know what, I'm going to hire a virtual assistant. I'm going to make sure my CRM, I'm going to put some systems and processes together. Congratulations. It's very hard to do that. It's like, I want to give an analogy. When you join real estate and you decide to start doing real estate, it's like you go to school and you get a high school degree.
Yeah.
It's not super hard. You do your first 10, 15 transactions, you get the hang of it. You do another 20, 30, it's old hat soon, right? It takes a year or two, maybe 3 to really understand it and figure it out.
Yeah.
Now, when you go from an I do it to a we do it, it's like going to school and get a doctorate, a master's, and a 4-year degree all at once, because it's a completely different game.
Yes, it is.
And I just want to be clear with the audience, do not do this sheepishly. Do not one of the things that we teach clients is when they come in is we set up the right system and process so they win. Yeah. You got to have a good first 100 days with a person. You got to have a great first 100 days. You want to make sure they're launched correctly. I love video. You and I'm in Chicago right now. Normally I'm in Sacramento, California,
Right.
but my whole team is still working, and I can message with them, and you and I are doing video right now. We all have this thing, you know, FaceTime. You know, I get to call my girls tonight and you know, kiss them goodnight, and they're gonna play with me. So what I'm saying is, get a video conferencing software.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you exchange, and these are in the weeds, man. I want your audience, if your audience ever decides to hire a virtual assistant, I want them to be successful. So regardless if you call MyOutDesk or jump on our website, these are the things that are going to make you successful.
Got it.
You know, trade cell phones so you can do a FaceTime with them. Make sure you get a video conferencing. Right now, you and I could share each other's screens, and we could talk through how to do some stuff. Oh, I want to share. This is a really good one. Okay. This is a write it down one, guys.
Okay, good.
Yeah. We call it play, pause, do. When you get a video recording software, and let's say you decide, you know what, I want my marketing to be handed off to a virtual assistant. I want to show them exactly the kind of posts I want on social media. I want to show them how I want my open houses marketed. I want to show them how putting all my listings out there for syndication goes. So you can do a video conference just like this, where you share screen, and then you talk through the how and the why. This is the important part, how and why. Because if you just do the how, then they'll be doing stuff, but they won't understand the why. And this is why it's so difficult to go to the we do it. This is why only, you know, 15% of the market ever does it. You know, it's just challenging. Okay, so how and why, you record it, and then you make a little video library. And then you have it forever. And then training doesn't become an issue. You don't get worried about, well, I'm not going to have time to train. Well, if you put it into a system and a process, that's what's going to get you from a I to a we.
That's great. I love that. How to scale your business. There you go, Daniel. That is how to scale your business. That's fantastic. So we have VAs, and what are their responsibilities? What I really loved where you said that they do the listings, and they actually can call on the list. What are typical, because, you know, we have like an executive assistant we could have, could have, you know, people that are just doing lists. What are typically the main things that a real estate agent would use a virtual assistant for?
Yeah, you know what, I love answering that with a personal story. So I'm a real estate broker, guys. That I built this company because I had a need. I was growing a real estate team, and in 2007, I hired my first person, and she helped me with some marketing stuff. So I was jumping into a new kind of a listing kind of like pillar. I was kind of jumping into the investment pillar, and so I needed different business cards, a different marketing. I wanted to be able to go to an investor, and they'd be able to see that I was a seasoned pro, because I like to buy and sell back in the day. So I hired this gal, and I paid a U.S. company $1,000. And then I hired this gal to do a design. And she said, Daniel, it only took me 2 or 3 hours. Don't worry about it. This is a gift. This is a gift from, and so I've got these 3 options from this U.S. company, and then this 1 option from this gal in the Philippines. And this gal in the Philippines, I was like, wow, it's like 10 times better than this other company's work, you know? So we hired her, then we hired one of her friends that she had in church, and then we hired a bunch more. And then one of my friends in Southern California, in San Diego, beautiful place, he was the top broker in San Diego, and says, Daniel, can I get 5? And I was like, well, 5? He goes, I got to charge you because it's really hard to find them, and you got to spend time with them. He's like, yeah, that's fine. He went from 5 to 17 within 9 months of hiring us. And he was our first client in April 2008.
Oh my gosh.
So what we used he was like our guinea pig. And he and I kind of were the guinea pig. But what we found was transaction coordination and listing coordination is like perfect. You know, SkySlope's a great one. .loop is another one. But get that into a system. Right? Into some sort of an IT system. And then all the training's out there. All you got to do is teach them how you like it done.
Yeah.
And what the interesting things about your local jurisdiction. So my favorite is that's a hands down easy winner,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And then marketing, all of the flyers, social, you know, every time you go to an open house, and then of course, all the prospecting. I mean, you know, open houses are such a great, it's the number 3rd way to build revenue as a real estate agent. You know, it typically goes, you know, your sphere of influence, right? People that know you, 70% of all the real estate goes there. Yep. And then the number 2 for me is FSBOs and expireds, because those are folks that raise their hand and said, I want some, like, right. I want to sell, right? And then number 3 is, you know, open houses. And so if you're a real estate broker or agent right now on this call and you're not killing it with those 3 sources, I can guarantee you it's because you're running around like a crazy guy or gal with your hair on fire, and you need to get rid of some of the stuff so you can focus on those 3 main things. I mean, that's 80-90% of all real estate transactions happen in those 3 categories.
That's great. That's fantastic. Got it. And so basically, I mean, prospect, really all of these things that are critical for what needs to be done. I mean, because really the agent, it's the face-to-face, and it's you know, getting them in actually doing the transaction, where all this other stuff leading up to that you could get people in order to do that, and it can just skyrocket your business. We're just about out of time here, Daniel, but what else would you like to share with us that you think is important for us to understand about building our business and the importance of VAs?
Yeah, you know, I'm going to give you some stats. I love to end with a compelling reason why. And this is what's important. Guys, there are 28 million businesses in the US. 28 million businesses. This is according to IRS, and that's an approximate number. I think it's really like 27 and some change, right? But 28. Right. 96% of them have revenue below $1 million. Wow. 96%. So what we're talking about, scaling a business, it's very hard. Only 4% ever actually get over $1 million of revenue, but it is possible. It's not like going to the moon, and it's not like inventing an electric car. This is real estate. It's a very step-by-step process, and it's not overcomplicated. It just isn't. And my hope for everybody in this audience, regardless of if you hire us or if you don't hire us, or if you just continue with what you do, at least know that that's a choice. Because if you'd like to double your business, we shared a lot of really good things that you can do, but it's really just, where am I today? And what are the things that I need to start doing and stop doing in order to get to where I want to go?
Yeah. And you can take us there to where we want to go. And that I love. What will be, and you can take us there. So Daniel, that's fantastic. How do we get best in touch with your company? Again, MyOutDesk. And what's the best way to get a hold of you? And tell us a little about your book too, and where we can maybe get a hold of your mod book.
Yeah, I love it. So if you just jump on, right now we're taking pre-orders. The launch of the book happens next month.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, we're really excited about that. Basically, everything that we shared with you today, we actually put into the book so that anybody who wanted to dive deep and go deeper about what's possible would have a guide of sorts. And so here's what I want to share with your audience, because I enjoy you, and I really love your videos and what you're doing to share with everybody. So if somebody wanted to get more information, regardless of where you are in the map, right? We, or they, just jump on our website, say Dr. Hank sent me, and we're going to give you $400 off your first invoice. We're just going to hand you $400 to try it.
Wow.
We really think that if you go through the process of discovering what you should stop doing, you're going to have an epiphany. You're like, the lights are going to go off, and you're going to, I am going to change everything. And here's the truth, right? And I want you to hear this, because this is really important. Being an entrepreneur, it's hard. I mean, it is, right? You get kicked in the knees, you get punched in the gut when you're not looking. Like, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. And at the same time, I wouldn't change it for $1 million. I would never go to work for someone else. I
Right.
love helping other people win with our product. So if you're
Yeah.
listening right now and you wanted a little bit of help, just give us a call or jump on our website and schedule your consultation. Tell them Dr. Hank sent you.
Hey, that's fantastic. Daniel Ramsey, he is the man. MyOutDesk, and that you get a free consultation. And the first bill, it's $400 off just because you say, hey, you wanted to be, do, and have more. And so that's why you're watching this. And now here's an opportunity for you to take your business, your life to a whole new level. With that, Daniel, we thank you so much. You are awesome, man.
Thanks for having me, Doctor.
Okay, all the best. And to all of you out there, remember that we love you and that everything is there to support you, back you, and take you to your dreams. And it's all about your mindset and how you think about it and then how you are being. And so be good, be well, all the best, Dr. Hank.